Alright, let's get into this reaction. Let's hit the reaction. I'm doing standard reaction content. Isn't that sick? This is the first time I'm seeing this on like a big monitor, I gotta be honest with you. I'm pretty excited. I only saw this on like a small phone with a privacy screen on it in portrait mode. So like small details, I did not get small details out of this.
Oui? Qui est-ce? So, you're the American who called earlier. The sister of the man on the third floor. Ah, welcome to Paris. It's so nice to meet you.
I'm guessing that Claire has lines here that are just muted because they wanted to do like
catch a cold.
They wanted to do like a surprise reveal, and Claire's voice would have been, you know, obvious.
Odd. In we go.
Okay, so how do we feel about the original Code Veronica intro being ixnayed in favor of this?
Mais quelle pagaille!
I'm not mad. I'm okay with it.
Such a mess again.
I'm okay with it. I think this looks cool.
Ago. It's like a boulder rolled through here. Huh? Ah, the delightful biscuit.
I just hope they fix Steve. Yeah,
I'm sure he won't notice.
I think they will.
Help ourselves.
I have faith. So here's a weird thing, right?
I'm so sorry. It must be
Boulder?
the maintenance man from this morning. Won't be long. I'll bring some nice coffee to go with the biscuit.
Biscuit? So he's juicing, right? He's got the human growth hormone here. And then he's also got... okay, hold on. It's going to show in a second. And then he's got the weights over here, which means he's already weighting and juicing. So, like, that's kind of strange, because the takeaway that I always got from Code Veronica and going into Resident Evil 5 was that Wesker beats his ass in Code Veronica, and then he's like, oh, since he's got powers and shit, I gotta start bulking. I gotta start getting strong. But it seems like he's already made that decision at this point in the storyline. So that's interesting. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, that is a good point. Him locking in after RE1 makes sense. I mean, I would assume if it was me like writing it, I would probably have him like locking on the weights in after RE1, and then after RE Code Veronica, where he finds out Wesker's been like giving himself powers, then he starts the juice. He's like, okay, I need to start taking the fucking steroids, because we're bringing powers into this shit. But he's already doing both of it. He's like, fuck it, we might get Giant Chris. And another thought I was having is that I hope from a gameplay standpoint, because in the old Code Veronica, the gameplay was like generally the same between Claire and Chris. I hope that in Code Veronica Remake, the gameplay for Claire will be like somewhat similar to like Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake, and that when you take over Chris, the game starts to play like Resident Evil 4 Remake, and you start like punching zombies and shit. That would be sick. I feel like I'm cooking on that idea. With Wesker's PPC leeches. Yeah, it's gonna be strange to see like big Chris. I mean, maybe he's not big yet. Maybe he'll get big later, but like it's gonna be strange to see like big Chris taking on powered Wesker, because, you know, he actually might have a chance. He actually might have a chance, because They did say that there's going to be like a fully playable fight between Chris and Wesker, which obviously we know how it ends. Obviously, Wesker has to like escape, but you know, being that it's playable, I feel like Chris is going to have some kind of a chance in the fight, unlike in Code Veronica, where it's just a cutscene. He just gets his ass walloped. So, interesting. Floppy disk on the ground. There's also, if you didn't notice, there's red jacket here. Red jacket. Red jacket again. I wonder if that's supposed to be reminiscent of the care center. Also, based on the fact that room 6 is over there, we can you know, what's the word? Oh, it's implied that Chris is in room 5, or it was shown earlier and I wasn't paying attention anyway. Either way, Chris is in room 5, which could be a Resident Evil 5 remake tease. Also, sorry for pausing a lot. I do want to bring up the theory that I don't think that's Hunk that grabs her. I think that people who think that is Hunk are wrong. And the reason why is because the voice actor who plays Hunk has been the same guy since 2007, I think. That guy's been Hunk for 20 years. And then this guy is voiced by a different guy. Like, that guy is not voiced by the same guy that is Hunk. And I believe that they would get the guy who voiced Hunk because they probably honestly would have just asked him to do a couple more lines when he was doing Resident Evil 9. If that was meant to be Hunk. I think it's meant to be the guy who captures her at the beginning of the original Code Veronica. I totally forgot his name, and I don't want to take a guess at it. I think it's him just wearing like a USS outfit because they were on the same team. Like him and Hunk are on the same team in lore. So I think it's still the same guy that captured her in the original game. I think that's the room. I don't know what that is. I think this is the room where Steve kills his zombified dad. With the door off to the side here that leads to the sandworm. This is obviously the outside area. That's the shield that you got to put into the door to unlock it. I'm kind of wondering how they're going to do that puzzle, because it seems like the door doesn't need an emblem in it anymore. The one that you 3D print and everything. It seems like that's just up here. So we'll probably get a new puzzle. We'll probably get some reimagined puzzles as well. And then here's an interesting one. Everybody's been calling that this is like a Resident Evil 5 kind of, I guess that they're like making this RE5. I don't know. Roman numerals. You know, there's a million different opinions, and I can't even make an opinion on this one because, like, it genuinely could be. I don't know. They could just be making this Resident Evil 5. I don't think it would be a bad idea. I actually think that if you just retcon Resident Evil 6 out of existence as a whole, make Code Veronica Resident Evil 5, even though chronologically this one comes before 4, but that doesn't really matter. You just set games wherever you set them. It can literally be a prequel. It doesn't have to be chronological order. This could take over the spot of Resident Evil 5, and then the story of Resident Evil 5 could be remade into Resident Evil 6. It's a thought that's kind of like crackpot theory, but it's a theory. Golden Lugers, I think that's Steve. He's got Steve's hair. I gotta slow that down though, unfortunately, because he puts that hood up so fast. Oh, I even had it too. That's crazy. Yeah, he's got like reddish brown hair. I'm pretty sure that's Steve. I'd be willing to bet my life this is Steve. I could have just done that with the... I could have just picked one. What am I doing? There's the brother. I keep going back way too far. There's the opening mansion room where you get into from the docks. Or you don't get in there from the docks, you get in there from the military training facility, but it's the opening to the Ashford mansion. There's the Ashford brother. Missed him. Oh, here's the private residence. The Psycho house. That's cool to see. I'm actually happy to see that. And then I think this is the training... Or no, this is the prison? Which leads on a bridge into the training facility here. Which leads into the mansion here, I'm guessing. And then the private residence through the bridge over here into the Psycho house over here. Kind of a big island. I don't think it was this big in the original, actually. Like, the prison definitely wasn't that big, so I think we're gonna get some huge reimaginings here. Because it looks like the training facility is actually the smallest area, so you're probably gonna be in the prison for a fucking hot minute. And then it looks like that'll be like the last kind of area. And then I'm guessing you'll end out leaving through the training facility over here. It's kind of crazy. This is a big fucking island.
Don't move. Claire Redfield.
Yeah, that's not the Hunk voice actor. That's a totally different guy. I'm glad they kept the bootcut jeans as well. Yeah, that looks sick. That looks fucking sick. I'm extremely ready for that. It doesn't look like there's a lot of opportunity for cut content, although they haven't shown Antarctica or anything like that yet. They haven't really shown the latter half of the game, but why would they? I mean, I wouldn't show the latter half of the game if I was just showing off I would show off the island. That's where the major meat of the game takes place. So, I'm sure we'll get a Chris trailer or something soon. We'll get to see what Chris looks like in the RE engine. I say soon. It'll probably be a while from now. It'll probably be later end of 2026, I would assume. And then I don't think we'll hear much until probably around... I'm assuming we're going to get this in after February for sure. I don't think they're going to release 2 like simultaneously in a row. I think we're just going to be closer to like May when we actually get the drop. But I'm excited. This game looks absolutely sick. It looks like this could honestly be the best remake of all time. Mostly, the best remake of the RE games. I think this one could do really good, especially if they cut as minimal content as they did in Resident Evil 4, honestly. Like, if they just stop cutting content like they did in Resident Evil 2 and 3, they're gonna cook. I think they're gonna cook, and this could be very good. RE3R is better. I like RE3 Remake, but I think they could cook with this one. I think they could really cook with this one if they don't cut content. They just make the new reimagining and everything, and just lock in. If they lock in, this could be like a fucking great remake. And the reason why is just because it needs it the most. Every single other Resident Evil game outside of spin-offs is modernized enough to a point where I feel like anyone could play them. Maybe not RE5 so much. RE5 is still a little tanky and has a little bit of a weird aiming system. But like I still think it's more modernized than RE4, so like it's definitely more pick up and play for like a modern audience. The one game that is not modernized to any degree at all and is like still it's still the same classic gameplay from the original series is Code Veronica, and this will finally like bring it into modern standards. Everyone will have played Resident Evil Code Veronica who's a Resident Evil fan after this comes out. Like this is where they cook. This is where they have to make a very good remake. And I think they'll do it. I think they have a chance to do it. Like I was saying, I kind of hope that Claire plays like Resident Evil 2 and 3, and then Chris plays like Resident Evil 4 Remake. That would be sick. That would be really cool. Although it would mean that Chris would probably have harder bosses, for sure.